Hello and welcome to another SkaredCast tactical video. Today we continue to look at the Astra Militarum and we focus on the role and use of the Commissars within the ranks of the Imperial Guard. Let's begin, or I'll shoot you. Hello and welcome to another SkaredCast tactical video. Today we continue with the Astra Militarum series and we're going to talk about Commissars. Now there's two forms of Commissar in an Imperial Guard army. You have the basic run-of-the-mill Commissar and a Lord Commissar. They both fulfill specific roles within the ranks of the Imperial Guard or Astra Militarum, and today we're going to discuss, find out what they are and see how they would fit in to your Imperial Guard army. Every Imperial citizen recognizes the distinctive cap and greatcoat of the Commissar. Whether from Hablock propaganda frescoes or grainy Monitorium recruitment picts to the masses of humanity, these men are symbols of Imperial authority, whose sole remit is to ensure that all do their duty in the Emperor's name. Yet the truth of these high-ranking officers is rather more complex. Commissars are recruited from amongst the students of the widespread Schola Progenium. While the majority of the scholars' wards go on to become adepts or join the Militarium Tempestus, only the best of the best will be recommended for service in the Officio Prefectus. Inductees must have absolute faith in the Imperium. They must display the proper levels of sincere totalitarian idealism. They must be able to fight as well as any hive-spire duelist while fulfilling the conflicting roles of merciless taskmaster and inspiring hero with equal ease. It is further the duty of a Commissar to learn the culture and customs of their regiment to which he is attached. He must command equal respect, whether assigned to dutiful Vestroians or hard-burden insular catechins. Should discipline or morale falter, it is the task of the Commissar to take whatever steps necessary to restore order, and to do so in the absolute knowledge that his actions are just. Under the steely gaze of such a man, Imperial Guardsmen must be inspired to deeds they never believed possible. In extremis, a Commissar must be prepared to execute wavering soldiers or incompetent officers without a moment's remorse. Few things enforce discipline better than a malcontent or coward being shot dead for their failings. And this message is all the stronger when a mass reactive bolt shell sprays a guardsman's brains across his horrified comrades in a shower of gore. Amongst the ranks of the Officio Prefectus, there are many heroic individuals who have become legends. A Lord Commissar is expected to exemplify everything the Imperium strives towards. These accomplished men must still discharge their duties as grim-faced arbiters of disciplinary retribution, but are given substantially more scope thanks to their seniority. A Lord Commissar is as likely to lead a heroic raid against a key location as he is to order motivational bombardments by batteries of artillery upon fleeing Imperial forces. After all, in dark days such as these, true heroism rarely stems from kind acts. So let's talk a little bit about Commissars, shall we? All flair and pomp aside, a Commissar is a pretty mediocre character in terms of stats. A Commissar has ballistics and weapons skill 4, strength and toughness 3, 1 wound, initiative 3, 2 attacks, a leadership of 9, and a 5+ armor save. A Lord Commissar, on the other hand, has stats befitting an Imperial Captain of the Space Marines in terms of weapon skill 5 and ballistic skill 5. He's still a human with strength and toughness 3. He is 3 wounded, but can be instant killed pretty quickly, and has 3 base attacks with a leadership of 10, and of course, flak armor, 5+ armor save. They are both infantry characters, while the Lord Commissar is indeed a independent character as well. Now, they do have flak armor, a bolt pistol, close combat weapon, frag and crack grenades, and the Lord Commissar is included with a refractor field, and the Lord Commissar is also stubborn. Now, they come with a couple of different special rules. The biggest rule is the summary execution and the chain of command. Now, the chain of command is only for the Lord Commissar, and also is the aura of discipline, only for the Lord Commissar. So I'm going to touch on the rule that affects both the Lord Commissar and a regular Commissar, called summary execution. If the Commissar's unit fails a fear, morale, or pinning test, after any re-roll it is entitled to, be it for a banner or a warlord trait or anything like that, the owning player of the Commissar can opt to have the Commissar execute one of the Astra Militarum models in the unit. So, you roll a d6. On a 3+, you choose which model is executed, and on a 1 or 2, your opponent chooses which model is executed. Note that neither player can ever choose to execute the Commissar himself, and the model is immediately removed with no saves of any kind allowed. Provided a model was executed, the unit is treated as passed the test. I love that rule. It makes the Commissar key to keeping units around for a very, very long time, whether they're losing combats, whether they're, it's like a better than fearless in a lot of ways, because you can choose to not have the Commissar execute someone and have the unit just run down completely if you need it to happen in terms of tactical gameplay. Now, if you really want them to stick around, you can have the Commissar execute someone. There's a 1 in 3 chance that your opponent might choose like a sergeant or somebody important, or a priest if there's a priest in the unit, but they're not really, they don't fail tests with a priest in there anyway. So regardless of that point, and you can just keep on fighting. And I think that goes a long way in terms of making a unit stick around for long. This works fantastically with large blobbed infantry units or units of conscripts that are all, you can have up to 50 of them in one big unit. You just run them up as a big tar pit blob with a little Commissar in the middle who's shooting people as they fail morale tests if they're in combat. So you can tie up things that don't have hit and run in combat, Wraith Lords and Wraith Knights. If you have somebody with a Knight, you could probably tie them up with a couple of turns where he just stomps on people, hoping that the Commissar isn't going to get stomped on as well. So, there's a lot of different things you can do with a Commissar. Now, a Commissar can be attached to a company command squad, or they can be bought as part of, an infantry squad or a command squad, or anything like that in terms of where you can put them. But true versatility comes in the form of the Lord Commissar, because he is an independent character and an HQ choice. So you don't even need to take a company command squad. If you're curious as to what I have to say about company command squads, make sure you click down below on the tactical video series for the Astra Militarum, have a lot of different tactical stuff in terms of Dark Eldar, you know, battle reports and whatnot. So make sure you check the links in the description, as everything I speak about, there's a link down there. So make sure you go and check that out. Now, if you're looking at a cheap HQ choice in terms of a character for smaller games or thematic battles, a Lord Commissar is the way to go. So you can choose exactly where you want to put him throughout the game. I would recommend, if you did that, to do things like put him in a unit of Ogrin, you know, make them pretty much not go anywhere. Yeah, because they become stubborn at leadership 10, so it's gonna be hard pressed for them to, you know, run away from combat or anything like that. A Lord Commissar also has two cool rules. One is a chain of command. So a Lord Commissar can only be your warlord if no other models with a senior officer special rule have it in the primary detachment. So if you have a company commander or a special character with that rule, your Lord Commissar wouldn't be the warlord. So you'd have to kind of keep him aside if you wanted him to be the warlord of your faction, like a Tanith's first and only. Army, if you were doing that, or, you know, Colonel Schaefer's Last Chances style army, you know, something like that if you wanted to do it. And he also comes with a rule called Aura of Discipline. Now, any friendly units from Codex Astra Militarum within 6 inches of a Lord Commissar uses his leadership for any fear, morale, or pinning tests, which means, you know, he's like a beacon of hope, and everybody around him is leadership 10 in order for fear and morale and pinning, you know, things like that, so they're not going to run away as easily from just getting blasted from far away, because the Commissar is watching you and doesn't want you to run away. So, as for character, you know, you can add a little bit of close combat punch to any sort of unit that they're with. They really make larger blobs of infantry not run away easily and make them very reliable in-game. And they do have a couple of options. So we'll go down into the army list description and kind of see what it is that they can be equipped with. So the Lord Commissar can take a couple of things. You can take melee weapons, you can have like power fists or power weapons, can have special leadership war gear, so things like melter bombs and whatnot if you really wanted to, and all the heirlooms of conquest, so any of the special like equipment that are allowed to the Commissars in the book. Now, if I were to run a Commissar Lord, I'd keep him relatively cheap, and I wouldn't really spend too many points on him whatsoever. Now, he can be given a bolt gun for free or a plasma pistol for 15 points. Once again, I'm not a big fan of putting lots of points on very cheap characters. You know, maybe a power sword or power weapon like a power axe or something if you really wanted to, especially on a Lord Commissar because he's got 3 wounds. And if you put a power axe on him, he's not losing much with the initiative 3. You know, and of course he's got his 5-up invulnerable save, so he might survive when getting hit by a Space Marine with a Force Axe or something. So that's definitely a little under the weather, as you can tell. And but I really like the Lord Commissar in terms of the way that it works in an army, and the fact that you can kind of pick where you put him makes him very versatile. I love versatility. It also means that he lookouts on a 2+ instead of a 4+ like a company commander. So if he is your warlord, he'll just be a little bit harder to take out, considering. Now, Lord Commissars and Commissars don't issue orders. They don't have any of the order mechanics, but there is a warlord trait that would allow them to, you know, issue at least 1 order per turn if they rolled it, if they were the warlord, which could be cool. Now, if your gaming group likes to let you choose your warlord trait, I highly recommend that warlord trait, because it makes a Lord Commissar like a senior officer, and that is pretty cool. And then you have the regular officer, so the regular Commissar. So the regular Commissar can you know, be part of like a unit, and infantry platoon, yeah, and trying to find out where he is here. Oh, there we go. You can include 1 Commissar for every company command squad or platoon command squad in your army. They do not qualify as a mandatory HQ selection. But before the battle, immediately after determining warlord traits, each commissar must be assigned to a different unit from the following list: a company command squad, platoon command squad, infantry squad, special weapons squad, heavy weapons squad, conscripts, veterans, ogrins, bulgrins, militarum tempestus command squad, militarum tempestus scions. Well, I really like that, actually. That's really, really cheap, and he's just a regular run-of-the-mill commissar, and he can be attached to a unit. As long as you have like one platoon command squad or one senior officer squad, you can have a commissar, and then just attach them wherever you want before the game starts. This is really cool. I hadn't actually noticed that till now. This means that if you just want the benefits of having a commissar make a blob or a unit of conscripts not run away and whatnot, very easy way, because you can just add a 25-point commissar to the army list roster, and then depending on the game, just be like, oh, I'm going to put him in this unit, I'm going to put him in this unit, I'm going to put him in this unit, which really adds a lot of versatility to the army itself. He is only one wounded, and he doesn't have any sort of invulnerable save, but he has crack grenades. You know, he's got a bolt pistol and close combat weapon, which can make a power weapon if you really wanted to. But really, he'd just be there to shoot people if they want to run away or be fearful. So let me know how you use commissars. What is it that attracts you to the commissar or detracts you from wanting to take a commissar over, say, a priest, which we will talk about at some point in the tactical series videos. Now, the SkaredCast channel is on a quest to gain 8,000 subscribers. If you like the content, you'd like me to continue doing it, show your support. You can click subscribe down below, share the video, comment. I really appreciate your thoughts on the Astra Militarum as we go on this journey, learning how to play with the forces of the Imperial Guard. Once again, this is your grateful host, Skari, signing out. This is Skari, out.